your impersonal self. There's power in a seed, reminding itself how to become a tree. There's a power in a cell, and it's capable of making a you or a me. There's power in the word, vibrating at a frequency. There's a power inside that, power inside that. Power is love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. There's a force in the fist. When it unclenches, it ceases to exist. It shifts into light. So much freedom releases from the wrist. So insist on this, insist on this, insist on bliss, insist on bliss, insist on bliss, insist on bliss, and love, 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 love. Love, love, love. There's a power in a seed, reminding itself how to become a tree. There's a power in a cell, and it's capable of making a you or a me. There's a power in the word love, vibrating at a frequency. There's a power inside that, power inside that. Power is love. Woo! And so now we welcome to give us our talk today, Mark, brother Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How is everybody?
Pretty good.
Let's see if we get sound. Oh. Is that too loud?
Let's hear you sound.
Is that too loud? Yeah? Good. And I will try to speak slowly and clearly. If I start to go too fast, you're welcome to go. I'll try to slow down. I want to thank everybody for being here. I really do. It's a beautiful day that I was expecting rain. I thought it would be rainy this morning, didn't you? And it was nice to see the clouds clear, and it was good that there was no snow so that Kim could make it down the hill. And I'm not sure what it means that everybody's sitting on this side. So as more people come in, we'll fill up the center. So today's topic is, and we follow, we're really blessed because CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living, has templates that they send out to all the centers so that no matter where you are in the world, there are around 400 centers in around 28 countries. And so wherever you are, you may be hearing this topic today. Not everybody follows it, but many, many do. For example, in San Bernardino, I know they have this topic today, your impersonal self. And I have a quote from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, page 408. Our consciousness of God is both personal and impersonal. It is personal in that it is personified through us, and it is impersonal in that we are all using a universal power. Today's topic focuses on our impersonal self. I call it that part of us that has never been hurt, harmed, or endangered in any way. I call it, oftentimes here, the center of the center. It's our core. I call it the spiritual muscle that we grow through our practices of stillness, of meditation, of 5-step affirmative prayer treatments, and the care and feeding of our inner knower that always knows. Dr. Ken Gordon, CSL spiritual leader, sends out YouTube videos that give a little tidbit of what the topics for the weeks are, and we post those on our Facebook pages. So if you haven't found our Facebook page yet, it's now called Center for Spiritual Living, Redlands, and eventually we'll get it where you can check in here when you arrive, and you can like the page. You can also see the videos and an archive of our talks. So if you miss a Wednesday or a Sunday, you can go and check it out right online. I think that's fantastic. Also, I'm going to encourage us today to start taking some pictures after service and posting our pictures there. You can also post your comments there about the center and your experience at the center. And we're knowing that your experience will be lovely and divine and good, right?
Yeah.
So Dr. Ken, he said, he called impersonal self this way. This is his definition. We are rooted in universal truth. We are rooted in consciousness of God itself. Dr. Gordon states that if we could remove all of our past and obstacles and all of our future and the future expectations, then we would be left in the present moment. The perfection of life itself is in that present moment, where all the power of the universe is, where all the perfection of humanity is, where there is no lack, no limitation in this place. There's simply the divinity of who we are. And our beloved Dr. Ruth Wilkerson may call it the absolute. So normally when I speak from the pulpit and do a talk, part of my prep work is always doing a Google search. Because I'm always just curious, like what's going to pop up. And not much pops up on the impersonal life, but what popped up was enough, and it was amazing. So there's actually a book entitled The Impersonal Self, and an order screen pops up from Amazon. Where else?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And then I thought, well, this is 3 minutes and 27 seconds, so I could watch this and get a little taste. And it was 3 hours and 27. I did not watch it. I clicked on for a little bit of it. So it first appeared in July 1914 by the author, Anonymous, who is now known as Joseph S. Benner. Does anybody know what his middle name is? Deanna, you might, because this is a New Thought, it's considered a New Thought landmark person. Sieber. So it's Joseph Sieber Benner. He lived from 1872 to 1938. And he's considered one of the modern landmarks of New Thought and mystical spirituality. And he himself thought of himself as a medium being, used by or subsumed by a larger mind or being, the divine. Benner believed the words were recorded directly from God. And so you could imagine back in that time, why would it have been published maybe as anonymous? Right?
Yes.
If he's saying he's the scribe for spirit, for the divine, in that time, I mean, when were people burned at the stake for being a heretic? When was that?
1700s.
15. So, but 1700s. So it's only like what? A couple hundred years later. But maybe that's one of the reasons that he first published it as anonymous, or he was so humbled to have the divine use him. Maybe that's why. Maybe he was told, you don't need to take credit for this. Isn't it true that some of our most divine work can be done anonymously? We don't need to have credit for everything, right? And some of the most incredible givers and philanthropists in the world, you never know that they gave the gift. They don't want you to know. And better even than that, they don't need you to know, right? So here we go. So this teaching is also known as the I Am teaching in the world. The I Am indicated the true spirit that resides in every human being. Wikipedia states that Elvis, is anybody an Elvis fan?
Yes.
Oh, you are? Okay. I'm not such a huge Elvis fan, but listen to this. On Wikipedia, it said that Elvis was introduced to Benner's work by his hairdresser turned guru named Larry Geller. And that in the last 13 years of Elvis's life, he gave away hundreds of copies of this book. And it is said, right in Wikipedia, that the king had this book with him on the night he died and made his transition. So you may ask yourself, Brother Mark, why are you telling us this? And I say, the main purpose of this teaching is to realize that your own consciousness is one with all creation. That's right. You, yes, you, Edna, are an outlet of divine will. And once this extraordinary truth is understood, your wishes become one with God, and your life unfolds in a meaningful exuberant mosaic in which your fondest hopes and highest purposes are realized. So let's together affirm out loud, I am one with all creation.
I am one with all creation.
You're like, I am one with all creation.
No, I am one with all creation.
Let's try one more time. I am one with all creation. I can move and I can come get you.
Yes, you can.
I am an outlet of divine will.
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 Very good. So later in my research, a Dr. Wayne Dyer blog post popped up that's perfect for this topic. And he says, of reading Benner's book, according to Benner, every one of us has both a personal self as well as an impersonal aspect to our being. Your personal self, or your personality, is being directed at all times by the mind and your five senses. So I hope I got the five senses right. Is it touch, sight,
Yes.
hearing,
Yes.
smell,
Yes.
taste?
Yes.
Oh, I still got that. Very good. So when you approach life from the impersonal self, it's an opportunity to free yourself now and forever from the unhealthy and limiting domination of your personality with its self-inflated and often self-sabotaging mind and intellect. And that's from Wayne Dyer. So in contrast to your personal self, there's also an impersonal self that's with you for every moment of your existence in this lifetime. This impersonal self is not you. It's not your intellect, it's not your body. It is the invisible intelligence that animates all of life. It is responsible for your deepest desires. It allows your fingernails to grow. It allows your heart to beat. And it is the force that supports all of life everywhere. To appreciate the presence of this force, you must get away from the consciousness of your body and intellect, which have held you enslaved. And our work, our inner work, is to discover how you feel, your own connection to the infinite and personal self, and come to know and rely on it at all times. So you see, this divine self is always waiting for us to be still, to allow our personality mind, or our fears, doubts, worries, or sense of lack and limitation, and maybe even unsureness, anything that's not a spiritual or God or truth or life-affirming quality, we need to stop the chatter and then just be still. And also, I would say, it's like a dial. You can turn down the personality and turn up the divinity. You with me?
Yeah.
We can turn down our personality and turn up the divinity. And don't be afraid if when you turn up the divinity, it's just nothing. It can be silence. It might take a while to make sure you're really tuning into it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you have never done this, it may take a while. And I would ask you not to try to struggle or strive or worry if something doesn't happen that's, some miracle one day because you turned down the personality and turned up the divinity. Just wait and have full faith that Spirit will use you and speak through you. And I've always said from here that some of the most powerful prayers, if you're not sure, use me, just say.
Use me.
Show me.
Show me.
Guide me.
Guide me.
Oh, isn't that enough? We could just pass the collection plate and be done. All right. So, because the book is full of more, these are the aha moments, right? When you have that shift in consciousness. And what I've said, even this past Wednesday, I'm really sure of this. There's many of us who have been students of science of mind or New Thought for our whole life, or many years. I think I started maybe in 1996, maybe 95. And sometimes you could consider even things like the practice and study of A Course in Miracles, which is what guided me to get to Agape and then to Science of Mind, and then to take the practitioner courses from 1996 to 2000. It could be pushed or pulled. Reverend Michael Beckwith always says you are either pushed or pulled to the teaching. And so it could be from, devastating loss or pain or despair. Or it could be willing. So what I'm trying to say is, I think that if you could try this I want every week that we come here to have practical tools for our daily living that you can take with you when you leave here and actually try. And so I think there can be a magnificent shift from even if you, I almost made a dial last night and I ran out of time. Even if you just turn it up 1, that may be enough to have your revelation, your transformation, your manifestation, your healing. I was looking up too the Richter scale. So the difference in power between every magnitude of an earthquake, do you know how many times it is? How many?
Like 100.
I thought I read 31 today of the force field of the energy. So, but it's interesting because it's just exactly what I'm speaking about with the dial. Spirit may only, the divine may only be waiting for you to even acknowledge you have a dial. And so what if you turn it up a half or 1? Or if that's not seeming to be enough, 2, 3, 4. Do you see? Okay. So, you know that we're just energy, right? We're just flames. So the one thing that that came to me was, have you ever heard the saying about your eyes, that they could be the windows to the soul? If you're willing, just look at somebody near you, just their eyes. I can't see you, Gary, but I'm looking at your eyes. Do you see that you can see past the eyes? Very good. So now we're going to do just a little bit of an exercise because you know I'm crazy and I have a microphone. That's a very bad combination. Right?
Perfect.
Spirit-filled with sound and can travel.
Yes.
Oh, now I'm trying to travel. So look what I brought. If you're willing, I'm going to start with you. You're going to hold the mirror for 2 affirmations. We're all going to say the affirmations. And then we pass the mirror. Okay, ready? I am love. Hold the mirror for 2.
I am love.
And really look through the eyes all the way through to the soul of you. I am joy.
I am joy.
Now pass the mirror. I am peace.
I am peace.
I am wholeness.
I am wholeness.
See, you want to keep the mirror, I know. So we can do this at home. You can do this at home too, right? Because think about it, when we wake up, we're like, oh. Like when I woke up and started getting ready for this, I had a beard. My hair was like Bozo the Clown. I'm like, oh. Right? I have to get ready. Because I look like, anyway, you saw what I look like. Did we say perfection?
Not yet.
And look who it got to. Hope. I am perfection.
I am perfection.
I am divine.
I am divine.
I am complete.
I am complete.
I am radiant.
I am radiant.
Oh, and look who it gets to for this one, Mr. Joe. I am intelligence.
I am intelligent.
I am wellness.
I am wellness.
Perfect.
I am infinite. Oh.
I am infinite.
Iris, were you ready for that? I am infinite.
I am infinite.
I am eternal.
I am eternal.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is so perfect.
Holly, come on. I am magnificent.
I am magnificent.
Yes, you are. I am guided.
I am guided.
Amen.
Becky, ready? I am good.
I am good.
I am merciful.
I am merciful.
I am kind.
I am kind.
I am considerate.
I am considerate.
Oh, perfect. I am passionate.
I am passionate.
I am light-filled.
I am light-filled.
I am peaceful.
I
You have
am
to-
peaceful.
Gilman. Wait, that was for Eileen because she had the mirror, so hold on.
I'm passing it. I'm just.
Yeah, but
passing
you
No,
need
no.
to be peaceful.
But I am peaceful.
There's a very good
I
reason. I am peaceful.
am peaceful.
I am
Don't you always say peace out after the I am gentle.
I am
gentle.
Gilman. Perfect. I am considerate.
I am considerate.
I am creative.
I am creative.
Yes, perfect.
Edna. I am healthy.
I am healthy.
I am abundant.
I am abundant.
Who didn't get it?
Eric.
There you go, Eric.
I am energetic.
I am energetic.
I am bountiful.
I am bountiful.
No, it's going there perfectly. I am effervescent.
I am effervescent.
I am majestic.
I am majestic.
Charles, I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
Let's do another one. I'm handsome.
I'm handsome.
Let's do another one in Espanol. Yo soy muy guapo.
Yo soy muy guapo.
Okay, pass it. Mr. Martin, are you ready? This is important. I am magical.
I am magical.
I am marvelous.
I am marvelous.
To Sarah, I am inspired.
I am inspired.
I am forgiving.
I am forgiving.
You're still uninspired. Are you forgiving too?
I'm forgiven.
Really? Are you sure? If not, just shut the mirror off. Okay, let me see. I'll take it. Oh, Ed.
Derek.
Oh, Derek. Oh, Derek, you're gonna like this one. You ready? I'm ready. I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am compassionate.
I am compassionate.
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time.
Claiming my time.
I am intuitive.
I am intuitive.
And I can't write this any better. I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
So, you want to know how spirit works? That was all I had. I have to make up the rest.
Oh, wow.
That was all I had. Okay, so now, Derek, I wanted to invite you to just close your outer eyes, and I want to kind of seal this experience with a tape song. It's the Agape International Choir singing a most marvelous song. It's one of my true favorites, and it's called "I'm Changed." Because to be changed, you have to be willing to change, right? That's the first step. You have to be willing to turn down the dial of the personality and turn up the dial of divinity. And so let's just allow your outer eyes to close if you're comfortable with that, and we'll go with the song for just maybe 3 minutes or so, and then you won't even know when I cut it off, but you won't hear it anymore. The soloist is Angel Travis. So this is the power of this teaching, because once you realize that this power so loves you that it created you in its likeness and its image, it will never forsake you. It is the love that I'm going to encourage you to turn up, to allow, to work in, through, and as your life, because it never will disappoint you. There's not one time it will ever disappoint you. And so to wrap up today's talk, there's a couple terms, and what I love about this teaching too is you can always just go to the glossary of Science of Mind, and if you need to do a talk in a few short days, just look in the glossary, because it's amazing. Listen to this. Under divine mind, there's no such thing, this is page 585, as your mind, my mind, his mind, and God's mind. There is just mind, in which we all live and move and have our being. We think of conscious mind and spirit as one and the same. Divine mind is the real mind. Divine ideal. Divine ideas are the ideas of God. The divine ideal is the perfect image held forever in the mind of God. In each one of us there exists the divine image of ultimate perfection, for God indwells everything which he creates. Divine protection. The power of the Absolute lives forever within us and delivers us forever from anything and everything unlike good. Divine protection is omnipresent. Divine influx. The continuous inpouring of God's blessings. When we open our minds to the influx of divine wisdom, we are allowing our lives to be guided by the infinite. We are keeping our consciousness open to the divine influx. And so it perfectly is. If we end on time, then we get some sort of $1 million lottery bonus. We won't.
Thank you for that, Mark.
Thank you.